Hello everyone, I'm going to show you the steps to forming your first puzzle piece using Fusion 360. So we're starting brand new here. We've opened up Fusion. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the data panel, open it up, make sure that you're in your IED project folder. Mine just says new project, so I'm going to use it as an example. But this should be your IED project. After you open that up, create a new folder and call it Puzzle Cube. After that is created, open up the Puzzle Cube folder. Now, everything that we make over here is going to be saved in the Puzzle Cube folder. So I'm going to close this back out. So now we're in the home environment of Fusion 360. First thing that I want to do is just check my default units. All right, so yours may look like this. Come over here into the browser. And if you don't have the browser, it's usually this button right here will open it back up. In the document settings, click the drop down. Where it says units, that means your units, default units are in millimeters. So I'm going to click this change active units button that's right here. Over here, change my unit types to inches. Make sure set as default is checked and hit OK. The next thing is all sketches, all 3D models in Fusion start off as two-dimensional sketches. Okay, so the way that we need to begin with any model creation is over here in the Create Sketch. This is in the Create panel, all right? Create Sketch right here. And remember, if you hover over something long enough, a lot of times it will not only give you a definition of what it does, it will show you a picture. When we click Create Sketch, if you notice that we have what's called work planes that show up. These correspond with the front view, front back, top bottom, and left right side views. So front, top, and side views. We're looking for the ZX plane, aka the front view plane. So we're going to click here, and this is going to bring us into the sketch panel. We have a sketch palette. We can change line types. All right, we can change where we look. We can turn off grids. We can turn off snap to grid. All these things, you can minimize that right here or open it back up. Okay, there's navigation down here, zoom, fit, pan, all of that you should have seen. We want to start by using the line tool, create lines and arcs. So let me show you the part that I'm going to make for you as an example. This is my multi-view example. This is from the previous one. This is why it's useful for having these, especially if you look and have your good front view right here. Notice I'm going to start by choosing what I'm calling a flat piece, aka one that's only 1 cube of depth. These are the easiest to start with. So we're going to start at the origin, which is the 0, 0 part in Fusion. And we're going to draw an outline of our puzzle cube that is roughly the correct size. All right, paying attention to all of our dimensions here. Now notice mine are in 3/4 inch or 0.75 inches. Y'all's are 1/2 inch or 0.5 inches each. But that's okay. This is 1 up, 1 over, 1 up, 1 over, so on and so forth. So starting at the origin here, I'm going to place my first point. I'm going to go up about, I'll make mine the same size as y'all, about 1/2 inch. Click once. If you only click once, notice that you'll automatically start your next line for you. So now we're going to go over roughly 1/2 inch. Notice that mine may have said 0.6, but that's okay. We're going to fix this later. All right, I'm going to go check my dimensions. All right, so we're going to just come in, finish our sketch. clicking around, and that draws all the lines. So we check here, check our dimensions. Okay. Now notice the important thing once again, I started at the origin. Notice that this has turned blue. This means that this sketch is enclosed, and that's good. Next thing I'm going to do is come in right here to the sketch dimension tool. And I'm going to add dimensions to all of these lines. So I'm going to show you how this was done. The tool is selected. We click on the line we want to dimension once, drag out our dimension, click one more time to place it, and now we don't have to delete anything. It's already highlighted for us. I can just hit 0.5 and enter. And so now, if it's already the correct size, you can just hit enter. I'm going through and making sure that all of my lines have dimensions on them. Notice how the entire sketch has a black outline. That means it's what's called fully constrained, and nothing can happen. Now, to back out of a tool, I'm going to hit escape. And escape just kind of brings me back to this home menu. So we've used the line tool. We've drawn an outline of our front view. We have made sure we use dimensions, that everything's the correct size. I'm now going to hit finish sketch and finish my 2D sketch. But we need to turn our 2D sketch into a 3D sketch. There's two ways to do this. To turn your 2D shape into 3D, when we extrude, you can either go to the Create panel in the drop down and hit Extrude. You can hit the shortcut E, or you can right click on your sketch and do Press Pull. This is the Extrude selection menu. You can change the direction, the type, the distance, all of that. What we're going to do is you can actually pull it out a certain distance, but the best way is to come right down here into the distance and select the depth. One block deep, we're going to do 0.5 inches, and I'm going to hit enter. Now we've turned our 2D shape, 2D drawing into a 3D body. Next thing that I want to do is come over here, and we're going to turn our body into a component. A component is basically an individual piece separate from everything else in Fusion 360. So I'm going to click the drop down by bodies in the browser menu. I'm going to right click body 1, and I'm going to say create components from bodies. Now it's turned it into component 1. We're going to change the material and color. So I'm going to right click component 1, and I'm going to go to physical material. And we're going to come over into our material library. I'm going to open up wood, and we're going to choose a wood that ours is made out of. If it is this kind of gray sphere, that means that it's not actually downloaded yet. So we're just going to choose a wood that actually exists. I am going to just say generic wood. You drag and drop the material onto your component. And now it has the wood. Look. Next thing we're going to do is change the color of the part. So you can either, you come back over to the component in the browser, right click so that it's highlighted. See if we can do it on, well, it's not working here, but you can hit A, and that should change the appearance. So we're going to come here, and I'm going to give it paint, and I'll just go with a glossy paint. And I'm going to say this is going to be my blue piece. So I'm going to drag and drop a blue color cube. Now it is a wood material with a blue color. So I'm going to come back to component, Double click on the name to change it, and I'm going to call this the blue part. And that is the first puzzle piece created. I need to make sure that I save all my parts, so I'm going to come up here and click the save icon. We're going to name it Cube Parts. I'm going to make sure that the location is correct, your IED folder, the Puzzle Cube folder. Hit save. Created your first piece. Now you're ready to make your next piece, and you're going to follow the exact same process. You're just going to create a new sketch, once again on the front view plane, and you can create it right beside this last puzzle part. And you'll repeat that for all 5 of your pieces.